Hello, Louisiana Beer Reviews. I'm doing a special request video, which sometimes I can do and sometimes I can't. Some people request me to do videos for beers I cannot even imagine finding. But these two, of course, everybody can find. Douglas in Virginia, he said he would like me to do a taste challenge with Natural Light, introduced in 1977, and it was Anheuser-Busch's flagship light beer from 1977 till 82, 83, when they began to phase in Bud Light, originally called Budweiser Light, and phase out this as their flagship. Of course, it's still around, very popular beer, but it's been relegated to their budget value brand beers. So 4.2% alcohol, calories coming in at 95, so very low. They went back to one of their more classic labels, although I did like the other labels. But anyway, Michelob Ultra, introduced in 2002. It's part of that kind of turn of the century low carb craze. Also 4.2% alcohol and 95 calories. Produced by the same company, Anheuser-Busch InBev, Anheuser-Busch in the United States here. Good date on the can. Also a good date on the can. Both pint cans, 16 ounces. 473 milliliters, I believe that is. 473 milliliters. They don't put the milliliters on here. Yeah, it says brewed since 1977, the year my youngest sister was born. And when too close for comfort, hit the airwaves. My mother never liked us watching that show. Anyway, so these days, 2025, mid-20s, Natural Light is seen as like a low-grade, like budget beer. And you can get it much cheaper. And Michelob Ultra is considered like one of the premier light beers. You see this at the country club, at nicer restaurants, honestly, and respectable people drink that. I guess in the mid-90s, early 90s, they would have called this one a Joe six-pack beer. What the Clintons would have called that. Now his question was, even though they had the same specs, 4.2% alcohol, 95 calories, would it be worth the money to pay the elevated price for Michelob Ultra? Is it really worth it, or is Natural Ice a better Natural Light? There's no Michelob Ultra Ice yet, and probably never. Is it worth the extra money? Is it a better value? Are you getting more? So my answer was, I don't know. I've never taste challenged them. I never thought of doing it. So it was an interesting idea. Now I did some research on the ingredients. Michelob Ultra uses water, malted barley, rice, hops, and yeast. Water, malted barley, rice, hops, and yeast, just like Budweiser. Okay? Natural Light, on the other hand, uses water, corn syrup, malted barley, rice, hops, hop extract, and yeast. I think not necessarily in that order, but so it's a much more like gummed up product. Okay, we'll use this for the Natural Light since it's the earlier release. I'm not biased because I don't care who wins. I don't buy these products regularly, either one, because Michelob Ultra is too expensive for what you get, in my opinion. And Natural Light is fine, but I can get Natural Ice for the same price or $1 cheaper for a 30-pack. And I like the Natural Ice a little bit better. It has more body, more action, more flavor, in my opinion. No knock against Natural. Now I'm going to go to the white side. Had the blue Now I'm going to go to the white, which I think originally was more like the white label. Appearance. Well, they're both pale straw. They have a thin, it would be thicker in a narrower brim glass, like in a Pilsner glass, white head. But for all intents and purposes, they look the same. Price point. I paid $1.29 for the natural light, and I paid $1.79 for the Michelob Ultra, both at Circle K on Louisiana Highway 3188 southbound. Let me cut that off because it'll make a little bit of noise. Hit the wrong dial at first. Yeah, it's pretty cold outside, and that's why I have a heater on. All right, anyway. So, Michelob Ultra, extremely popular. Television ads every day of your life. Natural light, pretty popular. Quite popular. Television ads in no day of your life. You know, on any day of your life, I should say. You won't see those ads. They don't exist since around 1983. All right. Oh, boy. See if they say anything about no additives. Nah. And they're pretty much the same information. But like I said, perception. This is considered like a respectable person's beer, and this is considered like, oh, you're one of those people type of product. And I have no preconceived ideas. I don't know if I can tell them apart. Maybe it'll be a snap. Maybe it'll be difficult. I do not know. About to find out. Smells like any mainstream American light beer you ever smelt. I'm not talking about these super economy cheapos that are always off. They always smell weird. They always taste strange, and you never buy them again. Then you're like, now I see why it was $10.99 for a 30-pack. This stuff is horrible. Those don't tend to exist very long in Louisiana. Really, they don't exist in Louisiana. They tried selling those around 2008, 9, 10, 11. The response was almost universally negative, and they abruptly exited the market. Around here, it's basically Bud Light, Coors Light, Miller Lite, Keystone Light, Natural Light, trying to think of any other. No, that's pretty much it. Oh, and Milwaukee's Best Light. Sorry about that. Yeah. Aroma, yeah, it's pretty close. Maybe this one to my left has more aroma. And that might be coming from the combination of corn, barley, and rice. Could be a multigrain thing actually helping it instead of a duo grain, malted barley and rice. Taste time chose. Of course, we get other light beers here, but they're usually off the wall, they're not a player in the game. They make virtually no impact. The ones I name, they're making the impact. Now, yeah, I mean, they have Natty Days at Winn-Dixie that tastes like pink lemonade, kind of like if you took the powder and put it in, that kind of thing. I mean, I don't mess with that. I don't know what that's about, but they bring it back every year, man. Some people like it. I would hate to have to buy it, you know. I'm drinking Natty Days on Saturdays. This is clean, refreshing, super tight, crisp, refreshing, everything on point. So this could be like a prototype. What is a light beer and how should it taste? Here's a good example. This is what it is. This is how it should taste. Is it exciting? Yeah, if you think taking beer and watering it down, adding water till you bring it down to 4.2% alcohol is exciting, I guess it could be. Honestly, this one has more body over here. More body, a little bit more character. Not as tight, clean, crisp, refreshing as the original one that I tasted. So, maybe this is the natural light. Not quite as... Yeah, not as quite as... Oh yeah, I forgot about Miller 64 Extra Light. That's a pretty big player here. Bud Select 55 was, and it barely shows up. Every now and then we'll get a few 6-packs, 12 packs, bottles. Then they'll disappear and maybe another 14 months will pass before it resurfaces. But Miller 64 Extra Light certainly has a presence, but that's even under these. It's so light, 2.8% alcohol. Talk about adding water. I really don't even know what to say about that product. But I was talking to somebody earlier this week. He was like, I really like that beer. It's really enjoyable. It's got such a good flavor. And I was looking at him like, okay, I'm glad you like it. And I wasn't trying to be ugly. I wasn't being ugly. I was just saying. And then I'm thinking about what they charge for it. And I'm like, yeah, glad I'm buying natural ice. But I mean, it's a little bit more treacherous territory, but a lot more character, in my opinion. There are differences. I don't think they're important. I don't think people should be paying any more for Michelob Ultra over Natural Light. I really don't. I'm not seeing much of no. You say, well, I'm going to the Superdome. I'm going to watch the Saints game. Or I'm going to the, what's the thing with the cars in the mud? They do the jumps. Well, that might not really be a good... I'm going to the Superdome in September. I'm going to watch the Saints. I don't want people to see me on television drinking Natural Light. I got to keep up my image. I got to drink Michelob Ultra. Well, first of all, they're not going to sell Natural Light at the Superdome, the Caesar Superdome. So you're not going to. That's not going to be an issue. All right, you know what they're going to sell. They're going to sell Bud Light, Miller Lite, Coors Light, obviously, Bud, Coors, Miller, BCM in alphabetical order. They're going to sell probably Amstel Light, which will be a good deal more expensive, even though you're not getting anything better. Heineken Light, yeah, there's a good chance of that. And Michelob Ultra, obviously, they're going to have that at every kiosk. But they're not going to sell Natural Light. Okay, so you know they're not going to sell that at the Superdome. They're not going to sell Keystone Light. They're not going to sell Milwaukee's Best Light. You know that's not going to happen. So I'm trying to figure out why you're paying $10 for a pint of beer at the Superdome. You really need alcohol that bad? Is that important to you? Don't even ask about the mixed drinks. I just think that I'm not sure, but I do know this. I was thinking about that, but I know this. I would never pay more for one over the other. Would I ever pay a penny more for Michelob Ultra over Natural Light? Absolutely not. That's an impossibility. It cannot happen. They're both 4.2, and they're both 95 calories. The flavor, it's a little different. Yeah, it's a little different. It's not really much different. Now I'm going to try to make my determination. If I get it wrong, I'm not going to feel too bad because I was saying all along that it's not much different. I think this is the Michelob Ultra because it's a little snappier, maybe a little bit more refined. So Douglas, I'm going to say he's the one that came up with the idea, as I said earlier. I'm going to say it's the Ultra. It is. It is. So, could you make the argument that it's a better product? You could, and I think that I would say it is a little bit better. But it's so minimally better. The differences are so narrow that I just don't think it justifies paying extra. I cannot see that. I cannot see that. But it's your money. Do what you want. And you just say, I'm in the country club. And I'm not trying to be like a proletariat, like revolutionary anarchist. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not jealous of that. I've never been a class envy person. I'm not. I'm saying that honestly. I'm not. If you say here's the richest person in the world, I would not be jealous. I just think they should be drinking Natural Light because it's a better value per ounce. You might lose a little bit, like out of 100, maybe you're losing 2, possibly 3 percentage points out of 100 in quality. That's debatable. And if you have to debate it, then it brings us back to the original point. Why are you paying more for the Michelob Ultra? Because it does not make any sense. And we're not talking about pennies on the dollar. We're talking about a pretty significant amount. You say, okay, let's look at a suitcase, 24 pack. They call it a suitcase because, it kind of looks like a suitcase. A Michelob Ultra suitcase is going to be significantly more expensive than a Natural Light suitcase. It's not going to be $1 more or $2 more. It's going to be much more. But you've basically gained nothing. You paid a whole lot more and you've gained, in a practical sense, nothing. So I have to side with Douglas because his hypothesis, I was going to say his hypocrisy, his hypothesis was that that if you did a blind taste test, that you wouldn't really be able to tell the difference, and if you did, it wouldn't make much difference. And I think he's right. And so his theory was, his theory was people should not be paying more because it doesn't make a whole lot of sense. And I agree. I would agree with that. So no knock against Michelob Ultra. Is it a well-made American adjunct light lager? Ultra light? Certainly is. Is it enjoyable? I think so. Would I buy it? No. I don't think I would. Unless I was in a trap, and then I would just drink water out of a water fountain. I really do that. Okay, natural light. Would I buy it? Yes. Have I bought it? Many times. Would I buy it again? Most likely. But like I said, I'm more of a natural ice guy, not a natty daddy guy. The natural father is a little bit too strong for me. But, although well made. But so, yeah, the clear and present winner, all things considered, is the natural light. The natural light. The champion of this, only this taste challenge. But I think if I did all the other light beers, it wouldn't always win, but it would battle. It would definitely justify its existence. So you say, I'm a natural light guy. I buy that all the time. That's my thing. Yeah, just keep going with it. You know, don't let these people tell you, you drinking it. I would say, yeah, I'm drinking that. Why are you drinking that? You know, I would challenge them. You know, I would say, you're wrong. Don't come at me. You're the one who's wrong. But it's your money. Go ahead, throw it away. Doesn't matter. Makes no difference to me, especially since your interests don't conflict with my interests, you know. So anyway, but yeah, all things considered, the definite champion of this taste challenge is the legendary Natural Light. And that's the end of that. All right, so thank you for watching. Bye-bye.